Salivations, everybody, and welcome to another episode of ReBoot. Oh my god, this is not happening right now.
Salivations, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ALPHANUMERIC.
I just said salivations. My god.
ReBoot, the ALPHANUMERIC podcast.
Okay.
Oh, you mean you weren't purposely saying salivation?
No. I meant to say salutations. Jesus Christ. Okay, here we go again. All right.
I thought that was fine.
User reads ALPHANUMERIC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of ALPHANUMERIC, the ReBoot podcast, where we discuss every episode of ReBoot from beginning to end, Season 1 to Season 4, even the other season that we don't talk about. Today is a very special Megabyte-sized episode where we discuss the last two episodes of Season 1, Identity Crisis, Part 1 and Part 2, both airing in Canada, January 1995.
It was a very good year.
It was a very good year. I am your host, AP Sniddler.
And I am another host, Christopher Siege.
And I am their prestige guest, NeoCal. Actually, sometimes I host the show too.
That's
Just
fair.
sometimes. This week on ALPHANUMERIC, we are talking about Identity Crisis, Parts 1 and 2. It is the two-part season finale of the first season of ReBoot. We're here, gentlemen.
Yes,
We
did it. Well, we haven't done it yet.
Pick it up. Oh wait, no.
We haven't done it yet. We still gotta get through this podcast.
We're doing it. Yeah.
Well, this is a different animal than the rest of the season, huh?
Oh,
little
very.
bit.
Very.
So
a little more dark and gritty.
So the episode opens with a establishing shot of mainframe and a GameCube. And the
It's
camera
on. Game on,
Yeah.
man.
Game on. The camera moves into the GameCube and we see our hero, Bob, just chilling on a nice, tranquil little piece of grassland with a beautiful stream in front of him. And
Yeah, he's fishing.
There's a
Yeah, he's
butterfly.
fishing.
It's very
He also-
peaceful.
he also looks like a fucking G.I. Joe.
He looks like a G.I. Joe. He's got grenades strapped to him.
Got a crew cut.
Yeah. I actually kind of dig this look on Bob,
Yeah,
honestly.
like, hey, Bob should go with this more often.
Yeah, suits him.
But it was the 90s. It was when white people could have dreads, you know? It was quite a time to be alive.
Or blue people in this case.
True.
Yeah.
Bob's actually voiced by a brown guy.
Who knew?
Huh.
Oh, Bob has a tattoo in this scene.
Oh,
Yeah, what's he got?
He's got like a skull
he's
tattoo
got
on his
a skull
shoulder.
tattoo, yeah.
Sweet. Death from above or something like that.
I would just like to point out that it's nice that, while this game is going on that could potentially destroy an entire sector, Bob is just chilling.
On vacation.
Yeah, he's just chilling there, like barely awake, fishing.
Because he does so much for mainframe when there's not a game. Oh, that's not true. He tangos with the viruses sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when they need him to
Deliver
stabilize
a
tears.
package. Oh, yes, that.
Or deliver a package. Or clean up dog shit. I don't know. Anyway, Bob's little vacay here is disturbed by a tank coming down the hill.
A Panzer tank is barreling through the woods.
It almost smacks him in the weenie.
Yeah,
Isn't Panzer tank kind of redundant?
I suppose so. I just wanted to
Yes.
say it.
It's just fun to say.
Yeah, the barrel of the tank almost hits Bob in the junk. And
Pretty much lifts him up by the junk.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the hatch opens on the top, and who is it? Our favorite little dipshit 10-year-old, Enzo.
It's
Yeah.
Enzo. Much to Bob's surprise. Imagine if it was a user who knew what they were doing.
Then he would have hit Bob in the junk.
Yeah, their back and forth here is like, hey, I'm not slacking off. I'm just wasting time so that you can practice in the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And they complain
Training
that it's
little
too
Enzo.
old. And I'm like, this is the best graphics game I've seen you guys play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bob warns him some kind of bullshit about some game called the Funhouse. That
Almost
is
like a spooky story to scare children.
yeah. I gotta say, it would have been nice if like this had come up in maybe an earlier episode.
Preluding to this like spooky game that exists out there that is just hearsay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas like him mentioning it just out of the blue at the beginning of this episode, it's like, I bet
It's almost
this is
like these are episodic.
I bet this is going to be a game in this episode.
2 games in 1 episode?
I don't think so.
Oh, I just realized Enzo's goggles are clipping through his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's just a game. We'll never see them
Computer
look like this
animation.
again.
Unfortunately, because I'm kind of digging GI Bob, honestly.
Also, his arms are way bigger. Man,
Yeah, he's ripped.
yeah.
He is a naked blue man.
Now he is the naked boy. Well, he's not naked. Come on now. Come on. This is almost like
Don't tease the audience like that.
this is like
Here we go
Battlefield
again.
1942.
Yeah,
Maybe a
kind of.
precursor to it. Like some precursor to it. Some very simple like tank simulation game. The user's probably like a person
Super
that like
battle
barely
tank.
ever plays that barely ever plays video games and attempts this one video game that he has like once a year.
Yeah. Can't even drive a tank.
Yeah, can't drive a tank. The tank is stuck between some shit. And
A house and like a blockade.
yeah, it
And-
actually it kind of reminds me of like when basically anyone tries to play Microsoft Flight Simulator.
That's right.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
Kind of reminded me of that scene in Austin Powers where he's stuck in that tunnel.
And he has to make a 72-point turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
As somebody who's done valet driving and like
Yeah.
parking and stuff for it's like almost a decade. I feel that. I have made like 12-point turns
Oh my god.
with like inches on either side. I've gotten so good at telling the dimensions of it's an odd talent, but telling the dimensions of like the vehicle I'm in and being able to maneuver it in and out of like positions that nobody else would attempt.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud of that. Because everyone's used to their own car dimensions, but as soon as they get in someone else's vehicle, they're like, oh shit. I don't know what to do. Bail.
Yep.
I'm amazed.
Yeah.
The 10 years, almost every single other person I know that's handled the vehicles has like bumped or scratched something, and I never did.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad, not bad.
Fingers
Impressive.
crossed. Knock on wood.
You know, it's
So
not
while
impressive though. It's the user.
I don't know who's less impressive, these 0 and 1 binome in the stealth bomber, or the user in the tank.
Yes.
Or the user in the tank, because they're both bad. Like he's in a stealth bomber.
Yeah.
Like he leans out of the window. There's this like 0 binome wearing goggles and a scarf. What did you say?
Algernon.
We talked Algernon.
Yeah.
And he's holding a bomb that says bomb on it. Like
Yeah.
getting ready to drop it by hand. and he tosses it, and it just surprise, surprise, it doesn't go straight down. It goes backwards and flies into one of the intakes of the bomber.
Yeah. Totally biffs it.
Yeah. He says,
I
"Uh-oh."
say, Benki, I think we've bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what was he planning to do with that, and why throw it? That's not how bombs work.
And they're in a bomber.
Yeah.
Drop
Pull
a bomb.
hatch and it opens it.
I think it's
Drop a whole
because
bunch of bombs.
I think it might be because they're definitely from the British Army in World War One, as opposed to whenever that plane was designed. Maybe that's how they did it in World War One. I have no idea.
They definitely did not drop bombs by hand.
Oh man.
Biplanes were mostly used as like to do reconnaissance and to dogfight like other recon planes in World War One. There wasn't a lot of bombing going on by them.
Yeah, World
couldn't
War
hold a
II.
lot.
World War II was the kind of the golden age of the bomber.
The golden age of wars.
There was
The great-
no war beyond then. Yeah.
The Great War, chap.
Who takes out the user here? Oh,
Enzo.
no, it's
Oh,
not.
Bob.
He asks Enzo to take it out, but he's like, no, let's see if they get it. So that was the
Yeah.
bomber scene.
Oh right, yeah.
Gets
The
impatient
plane
and he's like,
explodes,
yeah.
and
But
Binky
they
and Algernon
survive.
They survive because BS and P. And,
Yeah, they parachute out.
and they parachute out. Yeah, so they're fine.
And
for
Bob
one,
shoots it with
glad.
a
Bob
they shoot it
shoots
with a bazooka. Even if you die in the game, I think you're fine as long as somebody beats the user.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because we've seen people explode and yeah.
Yeah.
So Bob shoots it with the bazooka and the game ends. And then some weird shit happens at the diner.
Yes.
Dot's there, chilling, doing,
Oh yeah.
Dot stuff.
Bob makes a point of mentioning that because Enzo is all like, "Oh, what'd you do that for?" Which, like, hold up. Enzo was talking about how boring and old the game was.
Yeah.
But then when Bob's like, "Well, fuck this. I'm just going to take out the user." Enzo's like, "What'd you do that for?" And it's like, dude, you were just complaining about this game. Like, why are you bitching that the game's over?
Sometimes, very infrequently during our reviews, we notice that something said 15 seconds later contradicts the thing that was just said. But
Sometimes.
at least once an episode.
Yeah, so Bob is like, "Oh, I didn't want to waste any time. It's your sister's birthday."
Yep. Which is weird because wasn't he wasting time?
Yeah, he kind of was.
Yeah, he literally was. He was.
So why is he now saying I don't want to waste time? So Enzo and Bob contradict themselves. Weird.
Like in the same scene.
Yes. 30 seconds. Yeah, both of them. But hey, man,
well,
the show
what are you
looks
gonna
cool.
And
I missed it. Yeah, it's her birthday?
Yeah.
Oh. Her birthdays are much different than Enzo's.
Definitely. She's working. She's working
Binary
away.
dictionary. 0. Noun.
Yeah,
less than
I saw that.
1.
I- I saw one where she's playing, or it looks like she's playing, or at least it's a schematic of Starship Alcatraz.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's on the far one where it's like going down a hallway. The vid window. It's kind of cool.
I get some Star Fox vibes from it.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Star Fox 1. Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm an OG Star Fox player. I love the SNES Star Fox game.
Oh yeah.
Never got into Star Fox 64, but
I got way too good at Star Fox 64. Like at any given moment, I can show you, I can smash anybody's high score saved on their cartridge.
Sweet.
I got very, very good at that game. And how to like completely maximize like points per second and what routes to take to maximize the points, and it was
What
was the thing.
about terrorizing the score?
No, just maximizing it.
You can't say
that's how we do things around here.
you can't say maximize in any context anymore without.
No, I can't. Without somebody popping up and saying terrorize, and that's by somebody I mean Christopher.
Yep, just me,
Yeah.
only me. I'm okay with that.
So Dot
So
has like a
here-
stress migraine and sees some trippy shit.
Yeah, it's very strange. The whole scene just suddenly changes. She has this weird like vision.
It's a vision, yeah. It's nighttime, and all the binomes turn into like viral binomes.
And they're all drunk and
They're like
disorderly.
they're like drunk and disorderly. In the background, through the window behind her, you see hover tanks and like a giant vid window advertisement of like Megatron's face. Megatron, damn it! Megabyte's
and
face.
Cecil has no face, and he's got like this barcode with like EU on the side, and
He's not French anymore.
he's got like claws for hands rather than hands. It's crazy.
Yeah, and she hears a voice almost similar to another character named Fong that says, what does he say? This is a temporary distortion of reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good that
Seeing
she
that
has
for the-
someone to explain that to her instead of just being like, "Oh God, why am I tripping balls all of a sudden?"
Yeah, that's tripping.
I gotta say, I actually kind of like this this aesthetic of mainframe more than the actual mainframe.
You would.
It's more flawed. It's less perfect.
It's more
I get
cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yep, it's more dystopian.
Yeah.
Speaking of cyberpunk,
More
is coming out.
closer to the real world.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
and
What?
here we have the food and drinks cheering her on. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
she's not in the dreamscape very long before she kind of snaps out of it.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to normal, and Enzo and Bob walk in, and Dot is immediately like, "Enzo, where's your icon? It's not
Yeah,
on
what
his
the fuck?
hat." And he's all like, "Oh shit." And then Bob's like, "Relax. Relax, relax. I've got it right here."
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, we've never seen that
I didn't
before.
even know, one, I didn't even know they could come off, and two, it only came off in the last like few seconds.
Yeah.
Like he obviously needed it for the game, right?
Yeah.
But like if it had fallen off in the street or when he was zipboarding, it's like bye bye. Oh, what does Dot say? She's like, it's. What does she say when she reprimands him? She gives the viewer some intel, like, where is it here? Does she say that later? Like that has like everything, all your personal ID codes or something like that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people can take over or control your life.
Everything that you are is in that icon.
That's weird and disturbing.
Yeah. Also, the back of the icon we see a quick shot of, and it kind of looks like a circuit board,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of
chip.
cool.
Little
Yeah,
SD
when
card.
Bob puts it back on Enzo's hat, it like kind of like rearranges itself and spins almost like it's screwing itself or adhering itself back onto his hat.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like those shouldn't come off that easily.
Yeah, Dot is like, "Might I remind you, Enzo, that your personal ID codes are on there. If someone gets hold of that, they can make you do whatever they want."
Whatever they want.
Whatever they want.
This might be information that comes into play.
Yeah, so they're getting ready for something. They're not really saying what. And
Yeah, Bob's all like, "So, Dot, are you ready to go?" And she's like, "I think so. I don't know. Maybe I should go over it again." And Bob's just like, "Nah, man, you got this. I think we should go right now. Let's do
Yeah.
it. They're expecting us." And
yeah,
she's like, "I guess you're right, Bob." And Enzo's like, "Can I come?"
no.
And yeah, Bob's basically like, "No, sorry, buddy. We're I was hoping, me and your sister could get busy on the way there. So, make a
we
couple of
know
stops."
something's going on. Something's,
And
I think
Dot,
adults watching this. I like how. Sorry, go ahead.
and Dot, like, because Enzo is just all like, "Oh." Dot like picks him up and puts him onto a bar stool and is all like, "I'll tell you what. When we're done, we'll come back here, eat chips, and I'll tell you all about it."
Hooray! And then she kind of taps her icon and changes her outfit, and
and what an outfit.
she's Secretary Dot now. Still has
Yep.
heels.
Yep. Oh, and Cecil hands her a little iPad,
She's got
And they-
glasses too.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they leave the diner, and we get ReBoot's version of. I don't know like what this type of scene is actually called, but it's such a cliche, especially in comedy of this era,
Yeah.
of like people saying goodbye, au revoir, ciao.
Farewell.
Yeah.
So long. Farewell.
I can't believe I didn't notice this. So it wasn't Starship Alcatraz at all. It was the schematics of the hallway they were supposed to go down to go to this thing.
Oh, that makes
Because
more
that's
sense.
that's the one that they're walking down.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
Good
Love
catch.
every- That's
Yeah,
that's
they're in
weird.
like a seedy part of town because they like knock on a door and like a little slot opens.
Yeah, this is like very, very hush hush. Like we can't let certain people know about this type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We meet a little one
That's-
biome
That's
who's
me
like guiding them
when I'm
in.
working graveyards.
Hush hush.
No, just that the way he looks. I'm like, I feel that guy. The way his face and like head and hair and stuff is designed. I'm like, I've been that guy.
Who's Cyrus?
No, the guy that lets them in. He's got like
Yeah.
a sunken eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The hair.
Bob's wearing some fucking sweet aviators.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
all
he's
in
wearing
the
sweet,
bodyguard
like-
mode.
Yeah, CIA shades. Smash the solid state. There's like graffiti in the hallway.
And what was that? MB for Hex?
MB, yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah. Binomes Unite. And tic-tac-toe.
And there's
They-
viral like stuff everywhere along the walls. Like Megabyte's kind of like theme is like blue steel, kind of. Have you noticed that? With like that virus emblem on everything.
Yeah.
Blue
Hmm.
steel. But
And
yeah, it's like that.
Naked robot.
Well,
Yeah.
Megabyte's not even in this scene. Why are you going there, man? But yeah,
he hasn't gone Magnum yet. Okay.
no. One day. One day. The heck did that say on the wall there? Slash and slash? I wasn't in frame long enough to see it.
Slash and
Mm.
slash. Hack
But,
and or slash's new name. It's just slash and slash.
Slash and slash.
Easier to remember.
Flap and jack.
Yeah. This is weird. When they go through, I was expecting some like, I don't know, like secret meeting place, but it's a giant professional, really like well made like
Auditorium.
It's like a
Auditorium,
theater,
there we
an
go.
Auditorium, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And there's kind of like a doctor and a general and some people from Kit's district.
The EUR guy is there. The
That's
Uwer
actually
other-
not him.
No?
That's a different binom with an afro. The
He's
Uwer
like a
doesn't
mad,
have super long,
long legs.
Yeah, we'll
when I
call
was
him
watching,
long legs.
when I was watching this earlier, at first for like a split second, that I thought Cyrus here was actually the Uwer guy too.
Oh,
But then I'm like, oh no, it isn't.
no, there's two. He's
Oh, is
talking
there?
about one of them at the podium.
Oh,
It's like a really tall. He's got really long limbs binom, but it's not the Uwer guy. It's just a different long-limbed afro binom.
It's the Uwer's brother. Yeah.
It's his dad.
It's his dad.
Doing up some politics.
Yeah, yeah. The old man Pearson's there. The doctor.
Yeah.
cop,
What else we got there? Yeah, we got
an Indian, a biker.
the BS&P. The small town binoms are there? I didn't even know.
No, I just felt like throwing that in.
Small
why
time
not?
binoms. I had to I had
So-
to read that just to make sure.
You're welcome.
So Doc gives this this inspirational
Oh.
speech.
Yes. Sorry. Before we get into that,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mentioned this in our group chat, but we haven't talked about it on the show. And I was like looking at the main story writers for ReBoot in the credits as this episode was opening. And that's when I messaged both of you and I was like, well, hold on a sec. All three of them are in the show to some extent. Like Gavin Blair has the character Gavin Capacitor. Phil Mitchell has that like the Mitchell accounts guy, the guy on the yacht,
Right. Mr. Mitchell, yeah.
the snooty guy, yeah. And Ian Pearson is Old Man Pearson.
Oh,
of
no
Old
way.
Man Pearson's data dump. So
Never even put that together.
yeah, all three of them are one binomes on the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, they're all namesakes for characters in the show.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, I must tell them. So I messaged you guys over the in between a few days ago. Anyways, I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Don't know
Didn't-
why I've never noticed that before, but we needed to become familiar with these characters, you see.
Yep.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Yes. Anyways,
So-
yeah, you were saying Dot has a speech to give everyone.
Before she gives the speech, though, she talks to this like one binom who kind of looks like the Uwer guy, but like a more douchey version.
He's got, like, a white
pompadour and
streak in
shiny
his-
shoes.
Shiny hair.
Yeah. He seems to be the one organizing this
Yeah.
assembly.
And even
And
as a child, did this guy scream trustworthy to you?
No.
Well, something I'm going to point out is he, and I was noticing this earlier, he is like Megabyte owns everything here, Dot. Our personal ID codes are all we have. And he points to his own. He has a viral ID code.
It's green and black. Well, presumably a lot of them do. Because
No one
it's-
else in this room does.
It's sorry, I meant like viral binomes that have already been
Yeah. Well,
taken over.
that's my point. Is like,
Oh, I see what you're
this guy-
saying.
yeah, obviously this guy is a bad guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, to be honest, even as a kid, I was not see this guy to be shady.
Well, it
And
also
yet-
makes you wonder how
Even his voice. bugged
they
me.
actually are
Yeah.
if they're like forced to work for Megabyte, right? Because as Dot is talking to the audience, she's saying that she wants to do something with all of their personal like IDs, their icons, in order to free them from the sector Silicon Tor. And I didn't realize this. His tower is not called Silicon Tor. His like district is Silicon Tor.
Oh, like Silicon Valley type
Yeah.
pun.
So this
So that's his
virus
whole district.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I didn't notice that until she mentioned that here.
Oh, for the
think
longest
it's
time, I thought it
both.
was
Or it could be
his
both,
lair.
yeah.
No, I think it's both.
It can be both, yeah. But the district is Silicon Tor, which is interesting.
Huh.
And I guess these are all binomes that live in this district, but they're not like converted to viral binomes yet.
Yeah, okay.
And then she says some weird thing about like making a water park. And she shows the schematic of the water park that we've already seen in Enzo's
Yeah.
birthday.
I know. I was wondering about that. Very
It's like, how
strange.
many are we playing SimCity? How many water parks do we need here?
Well, if SimCity taught me anything, it's that's the way you increase happiness in a district, is you build a
Yeah.
water park.
Yep.
Also, Cyrus has a fucking soul patch.
You're
Yeah.
goddamn right.
Yeah.
It's like 90s bad guy 101.
And his name is Cyrus.
Cyrus.
And his name is Cyrus.
When have you
Retired adult film star.
When
Yeah.
have you ever met a good guy character in a movie or TV show named Cyrus?
Never.
Never.
Have you gentlemen seen the movie Con Air?
I believe once or twice.
Oh yeah.
The villain of that movie named Cyrus the Virus.
I forgot. It was actually
my
Cyrus
God.
the Virus.
It was,
funny.
yeah. And that has stuck with me my entire life. Or
I
at least
wonder- when was that movie done?
it came out in
well,
like
he's-
96 or 97.
Oh, okay. I was
So-
gonna say, like, if that was like some kind of yeah.
So the gist of what Dot's presenting to all of these binomes is, if you give me your soul, I'll bring it to the principal office for safe storage. That way you can be integrated with mainframe, and Megabyte can't take you over, can't
Yeah.
control you.
Basically, yeah.
And for some reason that'll make a water park.
Yeah, I don't really understand why registering their like all of these binomes PIDs, how that suddenly purifies the district, like the actual land.
Yeah, energy park.
Magic. Magic, my dude.
I
Something
think
I never asked as a kid, but
I think it was basically just taking over that sector and like putting it there instead of the tower. I think it was some kind of way to take away the power that the virus has over that area of mainframe.
just one, not the whole district, but just like a sector. Or sorry, not the whole sector, but just a district.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Or as we see at the end of part 2, just one little square.
Or just I don't.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get there. But
Yeah. But anyways, as a show of good faith, Cyrus is like, as kind of Dot's like, so, and she opens up her magic like soul gathering iPad. She's like, tablet. She's like, so yeah, you can trust me. Give me your souls.
I
And as
promise
like
I won't let you down.
Yeah, as a show of good faith, Cyrus like clicks his icon, and like a little glowing like light comes out of him, travels across, and goes into the tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flies around.
Oh, there's a giant vid window that's kind of like the United Nations diagram,
Yeah.
and it has a little red dot signifying like somebody that's put their PID
Little blip.
over to Dot. Yeah, a little blip.
Yeah.
And then one by one, everyone else on the stage does it too.
Yep, they all join in.
And
The
then
fools.
the audience goes for it.
Yeah, and Agent Bob calls up Fong on Glitch and is all like, Fong, we're in. And Fong is all like, basically like, wow, this is cool. We haven't converted one of Megabyte's sectors since, well,
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
This is a big moment for mainframe. Big moment for Dot. Big moment for everybody.
Yep.
You know?
That's why this is another one of those episodes where I'm like, does Dot actually do like a lot more for mainframe than Bob? The answer is yes, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was
thinking about
it, but yes.
Well, I mean, not having like giant like cubes of mainframe deleted every time a game falls is pretty important too.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, the sprites just need to get good. Having glitch does help though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Speaking of getting good, we see a ominous shot of Slash and Slash chilling in the rafters.
Oh
They kind of just come up from wherever.
Yeah, ready to descend like their motherfucking Sting.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Sting, you mean the famous vocalist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or do you mean Sting as in the Crow?
Roxanne.
Yes, a famous singer who was known for descending from the rafters with a baseball bat, wearing crow makeup.
Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody a quick TLDR version of saving me from talking about this for 10 minutes. So The Crow is a really cool movie with Brandon Lee.
Oh dear.
And he's a man who comes back from the dead to take vengeance on people that hurt the innocent and himself. He's got a really cool design. Brandon Lee is a really cool dude. Rip in peace. And
rip in peace.
There's also a singer called Sting. That has nothing to do with this story.
No.
But because they couldn't just call a wrestler Sting, the Crow, they called him Sting, even though he's dressed and looks just like the fucking Crow.
Okay, so I gotta correct you there. Sting was actually known as Sting long before he did the whole Crow thing. He actually used it.
Yes, there was a wrestler. Yes, I got ahead of myself. Go ahead.
The wrestler Sting, before he did the Crow thing in 96 or something like that, he had spiky blonde hair and wore white and pink makeup around his eyes, and
he was okay. But where he really shined was when he was the Crow.
Oh yeah, there's a reason why after he changed his look to that just became his look permanently. That's how he still appears 25 years later
with a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah.
I don't know how his iconic weapon became a fucking baseball bat, but
he did. He actually just appeared on AEW Dynamite this past week. Yeah.
The Sting? Huh.
Yeah.
How old is that motherfucker?
That motherfucker is 61 years old.
Oh,
blimey.
Looks great, though.
How do they do that? Has anyone else noticed that these wrestlers just keep going? They're in their 70s and they're in better shape than I've ever been.
Well,
I think it's wrestlers that stay off of the roids, drugs, and alcohol are the ones who are able to still go in their 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
But the ones who didn't are the ones that are falling apart at 45.
Okay. So take your Hulk Hogan vitamins and
except don't because Hulk Hogan looked terrible in his late 40s.
But now he's really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's looked terrible for a long time now.
Huh. That is true.
Doesn't he have a really attractive family?
A lot of people like his daughter, Brooke. Yeah. I remember there was a hot minute there in the mid 2000s where she was trying to be a pop singer.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Really? You remember that? Huh.
Yeah, and they had a reality show called Hogan Knows Best because everyone had a reality show in the 2000s.
Literally everyone. Anyway, that's Sting, ladies and gentlemen, aka the Crow, aka the wrestler Sting with a baseball bat,
aka Stinger.
So slash and slash
a Stinger
descend,
missile.
Slash and slash descend from the rafters like Sting with baseball bats. Wait, no, they don't. This is like, so there's some tomfoolery here. There's a moment where Dot's like, okay, now just to get everybody's PIDs safely to the whoa, it's gone, and the tablet's just gone. And then the camera moves to Cyrus, and he just pulls out the tablet from behind his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, remember, our whole lives are on here now.
Dick
and it's
move.
like, Dick, yeah, so let's say he's not a traitor, which he obviously is, and he obviously stole the PIDs somehow.
Yeah.
What does that prove? Like, geez, you can't take your eyes off this. I just realized his mouth is static, like TV static.
Yeah.
Huh. And she's like, you have my word. I will guard these with my very life. You just proved that you didn't. Cyrus took them.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well. Yeah, and then Dot goes, consider yourselves free, and everybody cheers, and it's a good time. And
then Slash and Slash show up.
but with backup. They're like hover tanks.
Yep.
Yep.
Hover tanks are flying in. Some
all the binomes are spooked.
Yeah, viral binomes burst through the door, shooting green lasers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. With their
And,
batons or whatever.
Yeah. And Bob and Dot are like, what are we gonna are hiding behind the podium, and they're like, what are we gonna do?
Those
And
things shoot lasers? Have they always done that, or is this the first episode where they're like fucking Stargate shooting these things?
Oh yeah. I guess they are kind of like the Jaffa staff, aren't they?
What were they called? They had a name? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
They are. What the hell? They've never shot before. I swear to God, they've never fired before.
Listeners, if they have fired before, be sure to let us know.
I swear they haven't. Oh well.
So Cyrus the Virus opens up a hatch in the floor and is all like, "This way, guys."
Yeah, there's a secret path here. You can trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they jump down the hole.
Yeah, Dot double taps her icon and goes back to her regular clothes. And they jump into the sewer.
Off in the sewer they go.
And
yeah.
Hack and Slash do their thing.
I want one of those Jaffa
bickering
stabs. Huh? Nothing. For some reason, Dot changes out of her like secretary / official business woman outfit.
Yeah, I just mentioned
not sure
that,
why. Yeah, you did. Yeah. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I'm like, "Oh, she did. Why?" Because that's her iconic look.
It's hard to run and do action moves in a skirt.
It's
okay, that makes sense actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so they jump into the sewer, they land on zip boards and zip away.
And the water is like TMNT like ooze.
Yes.
In the sewers.
Yeah. So a bunch of vid windows in the auditorium pop up, and it's Megabyte.
And he's like, "You've been very bad." Bad dog.
I was just gonna say. You've been even worse than you've been an even more of a bad dog than Frisket.
And he's a very bad dog.
Bad boy.
I don't know why that stuck with me.
Bad boy.
Because it's strange.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that.
His vendetta with dogs?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how he lost his leg. So.
True. The hands of a dog.
Probably.
The mouth of a dog.
I got a beep in Discord and I don't know what it is.
I heard a beep, but I thought it was just my headphones.
Yeah.
Is what's his nut still in here?
Yep. He seems to be recording just fine, so.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
I guess all right.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah, so the vid windows pop up and Megabyte is all like, hey, guess what, assholes? You're mine now. Basically.
Yeah. Who's disturbing the peace? And then, yeah, he sees some vid windows. One
and Slash and Slash are all like, it's her, that feminine thing. Actual line. That feminine thing.
Yeah, the feminine thing. Yeah.
Bizarre.
Very bizarre. I'm just like,
Really?
Yeah, so
all right.
Megabyte's like, hey, don't let her escape. Catch her. And then we cut back to the trio, Cyrus, Bob, and Dot, on their zip boards going through the tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Fong radios Bob on his glitch, and he's like, what's up? And Bob's like, let me put this as delicately as possible. And then
There's like an explosion.
Yeah. And he's like, it's bad. We're doomed. And for some reason, Fong's like, Dot, does your organizer have a self-destruct? And I'm like, Fong? Really?
Yeah, like, so we want to just, like, would that kill all of these binomes?
And is that preferable to
just
enslavement?
Is that preferable to them being converted or to viral binomes with the potential of maybe being cleansed later?
Oh, I would have thought they were backed up. And if she destroyed her organizer, it would still it wouldn't be destroyed. It would be backed up somewhere. And Megabyte still wouldn't have all their information.
Where would it be backed up?
I don't know.
I mean, putting aside that we know that Dot doesn't have them and Cyrus stole them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they seem like a tangible. They seem like a tangible thing that moved from them into Dot's tablet.
Right.
Yeah.
So destroying that, because even Dot says like, "Oh, like that's stupid. I'm not even going to consider that option."
Yeah.
So what? Like as to Christopher, what Christopher said is, do they die? Is that preferable than becoming like viral binomes? And like you said, where they could be maybe like changed back later, or can they? Anyways, it seems like a bad option.
Yes.
And it's weird that that Fong proposed it.
Yeah, he's even like, my women are so stubborn. He doesn't say that. He says she's a stubborn in a stubborn format. And I'm like, what would that be? Would that be like deleting like all your personal records and like your credit score? Like what's bad? I don't know. It doesn't tell us.
No.
All of this and more will be answered on the next Alphanumeric.
Basically, yes, because the next episode we hear more about it, but we'll continue on with this one first.
Oh, I thought I was joking.
Oh. Well,
I guess we will find out.
I guess we will find out.
Yeah, and Bob is all like, it's that determination thing of hers again. So we're all doomed. And it's like,
thanks?
Like,
since when has Bob and Fong
been that
pessimistic?
Yeah, he does.
It's that determination again.
That womanly determination. Am I right, Fong?
Am I right, fellas? Women, right?
Yeah, I'm getting actually getting like weirdly like kind of sexist vibes from this interaction.
I didn't even hear that. I didn't. To be honest, I guess I'll have to
get
go back
sexist vibes from it. I just get like Bob and Fong breaking character and being pessimistic when they're usually not. It's very.
I think this is like the most trouble they've seen themselves to date. Because when they've tried to free one of Megabyte's sectors or districts, rather, and then he shows up, and everybody's basically after them, and it's kind of like a price is on their head now, and like we got to get out of here with everybody else's information. I don't know. It's crazy. Everyone's reacting crazy.
You slow down and this bus will explode.
There's a bomb on the bus. Whoa.
On the bus.
I don't know why I just thought of that.
We were getting. So there's a bomb on the bus, but
Yeah, so Bob and Dot
they
and
get out of the
Cyrus,
sewers.
they keep zipping through the sewers and they come across an
A
opening.
hatch.
Yeah, and Cyrus is like, "This'll lead up to the street. You haven't much time. Go."
And he sacrifices himself so valiantly, he like falls to distract them. And the viral
Yeah.
binomes grab him.
Yeah, and he's all like, "Go, Dot, for freedom."
I'm like, uh-huh.
I'm like, okay. Overselling it, buddy.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
like,
what it
even-
Go, Dad!
And
Yeah.
like when the viral binomes are all like holding each of his limbs, he has this like smirk on his face.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah. He's smiling.
Watching them run away.
Jeez, I'm caught. Whatever will I do?
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no, Charlie.
No.
You sound like one of the unicorns from Charlie the Unicorn.
Charlie!
Wow, I haven't thought
Oh.
of that in
Adventure, Charlie.
years.
Candy Mountain!
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
You're the Banana King! Yeah.
Wow. The
Yeah.
wisdom of the Neopleurodon.
Neopleurodon!
Oh, he's such a nice Neopleurodon.
Shun the non-believer!
Shun. Wow, okay, enough of that.
Okay.
Yes, for the
Back
love
to
of
even
God.
when it came out. So, Kaden had said earlier, as they're like leaving the sewers, they're kind of like this whole sector, presumably the whole district, or sorry, the whole sector, yeah, is in lockdown and they're hunting for Bob and Dot. This is perplexing to me. So Bob, right, he peeks through the manhole.
I have a feeling you're
Cover.
going to bring up the exact same thing I was going to.
Yeah,
So
he's-
take it
he's-
away.
He's peeking through the manhole cover, right? And then he kind of tosses it off and he's like, okay, coast is clear or something. And a hover tank flies out of nowhere and slams down. By the way, he barely misses this. There's no room for him to like get out of the way. Almost crushes him, the little ramp out of the back.
Yeah.
And Dot is inside and she yells, get in.
I
Where the fuck did she go?
what? Well, yeah.
This whole scene?
Did she go back down and dodge
There's
the other?
it's editing. There's a missing scene, basically.
Something happened there.
Because as he's peeking through, we don't even know that they split up. Like a hover tank? That is like very bizarre. But
She-
like it's so fast paced. It's a kids show that's fast paced that nobody would notice, but it's very odd.
And to do that without getting caught.
Yeah,
on
where'd she get
a
it?
sector that's on full lockdown.
How'd she get it?
And
while
also
Bob
in the
was
span
hiding?
of like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Also, how did Bob do that? Where he like pokes his head up, and then suddenly he's all the way upside down, where he can kick the thing off, and you see it, but both
Oh yeah,
feet
he
come up.
kicks it.
How in the world? What kind of acrobatic nonsense? Is he on the zip board on his hands?
I was just
Yeah.
going to say,
What's
he does a
going on?
handstand on the zip board.
Like,
He does a front flip
Or
and lands on his hands on the zip board and then kicks the manhole cover straight
like
up.
he's
Bob,
very
what,
acrobatic.
Bob, what can't you do aside from everything else?
Well,
All right.
apparently
Okay.
steal a hover tank.
All right. Moving on.
That whole little 10-second scene is very bizarre. I didn't
Yeah.
even notice that. Yeah, he pokes his head out, and then it shows his feet like he's upside down, kicking it.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
What
that.
did you do, sir?
I can forgive that. I can't forgive Dot. Like,
Just appearing
Just
and already in
appearing
a tank
In a hover tank.
when they were
Yeah.
side by side.
yeah,
also, why
like
did-
seconds
so-
earlier.
Let's presume she went to go get it. What? Bob, the Guardian with Glitch, was just hiding? Are we to believe that? Well, Dot like ran off in like fucking GTA, like stole this hover tank. Very that's it's very weird.
Now here we got he's in and he's just like, where the hell did you come from? Holy cow. And then Dot's just like, stay out of my way, I know what I'm doing. Just sit down and shut up. And
I never knew
like,
you could be so impulsive.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, well, now you know, bitch.
Yeah.
Buckle up, cupcake.
And now he's got like 6 more on their tail. They've got like 6 more.
And they're shooting lasers, which I've never seen them do.
And
yeah.
briefly
Dot
starts tripping out.
Yeah, Dot has one of those visions.
That drone with the just with the arms and one eye is pretty fucking scary.
Yeah.
So there's a drone
as a kid.
Yeah, it's like a giant eyeball, like a viral red and green eye.
It reminded
and it has
me
long, skinny, like xenomorph arms, and it hovers.
Yeah. It reminded me of that scene in Star Wars where Princess Leia is in a cell and they're trying to get answers out of her, and this like hovering black ball with needles comes in. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about?
I remember.
You remember? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of one of those.
Yeah,
scared the hell out of me.
I thought you were gonna go with the creature that's in the garbage masher that like drags Luke under, because it like pokes its like head or whatever out, and it's just like an eye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like this viral
different shape. Yeah.
eye thing, it reminds me of something, but I can't quite place what it is.
Maybe it reminds us of literally the same thing from when we watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
No, it's something
it's definitely
else.
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Something I've seen like within the past few years.
Yeah, her trip doesn't last long, Dot. And she kind of like snaps out of it and goes back to piloting the hover tank.
And thank the user for that.
Yeah.
She is driving after all.
Yeah. And Bob is like looking at like some GPS thing on his screen. And he's like, take a right. And they're cut off by more hover tanks. And so he's like, how about left? And they're cut off again.
Yep.
Well, did you just take a picture?
I did, yeah. Screenshot.
Your computer makes a loud shutter sound when you take a screenshot?
Yeah, I can take care of that.
Just wondering if you were using a real camera.
No. I'm old school.
Sorry, yeah. Bob grabs the wheel, or wait, it doesn't use a wheel. It uses like
it's like a
2 like accelerometers almost to steer, because they kind of go sideways and like they like barge through the 2 other hover tanks. It's weird.
Yeah, so Bob is all like, hey, Dot, can I? And she's like, okay, go ahead, fire the big gun. In this very, like, dismissive way.
Boom, boom, getcha.
boom. Yeah.
So he grabs the stick and he's like, hey, how do you work this thing anyway?
And then he just starts hitting
We finally get to see that gnarly weapon on top of those, like, work. And it works exactly like I thought it did. It just, like, indiscriminately spins and fires missiles.
Sounds like a very destructive weapon. And indeed.
And it doesn't hit a thing. Except for the base of this tower that comes crashing down on top of one of them, and and the other one crashes.
Yeah, there's this random pillar that you straight up see on it, like a part, like the part where it's going to break apart.
Yeah,
before it even does.
Weird that its weak spot would be so close to the ground.
Yeah.
Also, as it fell, it looked like they were all separate pieces that were just stacked.
They were just stacked. Yeah.
That's super weird.
Easier to make it fall with their physics engine, I guess.
Yeah.
Very dubious design, though.
Almost like it was meant to fall.
Coincidence? Inside
I
job.
think so.
Inside job.
Clearly. And yeah, they're free. They escape the
Sector.
Silicon Tour sector district.
Right
Uh,
as a gigantic vid window
Yeah,
pops
it's huge.
up over all of mainframe.
Well, over the inhabitants of his domain.
Right.
Sector 1000.
And he's
Little
like,
struggle.
"Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your favorite dictator, Megabreath.
It's everybody's
Um,
favorite virus.
I want to thank my dear, close, personal friend Dot Matrix for tricking all of you into giving me your sector PIDs.
Yeah.
So cunning and insightful."
Yeah, I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my dear friend Cyrus.
Does he
And
say
I
no?
w-
Or no, wait, does he say Cyrus in this one?
No.
Or just no,
That's later.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Sorry, I got him mixed up. My
Yeah. And
fault.
Dot's like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And they look at her tablet,
Yeah.
and yeah, all the PIDs are removed.
I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my personal trainer for getting my body fat percentage down below 2%.
Look at how cut I am. Look.
Look at my naked metal flesh.
You're welcome.
Oh, jeez.
And then Dot's like, "Wow, I'm not fully functional. I deserve to die." And she just goes into this crazy depression spiral because she feels like she let everyone down.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
all like, they're gone. They're gone. That's impossible. File removed. It's gone. Everything.
Yeah, and Megabreath is like, "All right, so all y'all prepare yourselves for a career change." Just like that. That's exactly how Megabyte laughs.
That laugh was amazing.
And he's like, and then he evil laughs, the vid window closes, and then he's like, kind of sighs, and he's like, "Well, you'll all be mine as soon as we could read this god dang file." And I guess it's
Tell you
encrypted.
what?
I tell you what, who knows how to use these computers anyway?
Oh dear.
And he turns to what are those binomes called again?
Herr Doctor.
Herr Doctor.
And is the other one Igor? No, it's just a assistant.
It's just another doctor binom.
It's like a nurse, yeah,
Yeah.
or a doctor binom. And yeah, he's like, "The files, they are encrypted, your immenseness, your glorious bicepness."
Bicepness. Your enormity. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's this computer monitor, big ass computer monitor that's counting up some binary from the bottom up to the top, working to try and break the encryption.
Yeah.
The encryption on this on the PIDs. Also, I would like to point out that Dot was all like, if only I understood how this happened and what went wrong. Whereas I feel like most people would be like, wait a minute, that
motherfucker,
that
Cyrus.
asshole Cyrus
That little
grabbed the iPad away from me when I wasn't looking.
slick shoes, pompadour, and wearing fuckface. Yeah.
Wow, those are harsh words.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a grudge against
Hey, Cyrus, you know.
What did he do to you?
Hey, watch the episode.
Thank you, sir. It was an honor to work with Aiden.
It was an honor to betray my people, whatever. My comrades.
It makes me smile. And then Megabyte's like, "Oh, how?" He's like, because Cyrus is like, "Please call me Cyrus." And then Megabyte's like, how about I call you Lieutenant Cyrus instead? And Cyrus is like, that makes me smile, sir. And then
Well,
they both
Megabyte-
laugh.
Megabyte is like, what you did was underhanded,
underhanded, and
downright distasteful. I
I
loved
loved it. Yeah.
And yeah, Lieutenant Cyrus. Cheers. And they both laugh.
Yep.
Maniacally.
Both laugh. Just like that.
And
That's
Cuts back to Dot wallowing in self-pity, and
she has
She's
another
like-
vision
She's playing
quest.
Evanescence.
yeah.
Oh, she does have a vision quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sees like dystopian, like viral security checkpoints, people lined up, and
Yeah, two guys in the line, and they're going through like a detector of some kind.
Yeah.
and
And
Bob, Bob's talking to Fong on glitch, and he's all like, something's wrong with Dot. And Fong's like, basically like, yeah, she lost all of the PIDs. And
What a bitch.
so now everyone in that sector is going to be under Megabyte's control. And Bob's like, yeah, but she's acting weird.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, but she's acting like everything's her fault.
Yeah,
What can we
jeez.
do?
Me no understand empathy. And Fong doesn't even acknowledge that. He's just like, well, duh, she like fucked up.
Yeah,
And I'm
basically.
like, why are they so weird in this episode? I feel like Bob and Fong are very odd. Especially Fong.
To be like the only female sprite amongst a bunch of male sprites, it has to be a little. The males have to get a little confused once in a while.
Ah, see, the males begin to beat their chest and throw sticks into the air.
Oh.
They gather around the monolith and pick up the bones of their enemies. That's right. Wow, you really committed to that.
Whoa, whoa. Nice. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so
Anyways.
Doc's like, oh, it's over. I lost. Why don't you two just admit it? I fucking suck.
I might as well just kill myself.
Just leave me alone. I quit. Everyone would be better off without me. And Bob's like, whoa there.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hey, whoa.
I'm not equipped to deal with
I'm
these
just
kind
the
of
guardian
emotions.
here.
And then,
Luckily for Bob, he's like, oh, there's a game.
oh
Here it
shit!
comes.
Warning: incoming game. And the GameCube just coincidentally happens to drop exactly where they're sitting.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Well, they don't have to travel far.
Yeah.
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 And when they enter the game, they're suspended in midair and then just drop to the ground. And Bob's all like, "Oh, wait a minute, I know this." And we hear some like
Carnival music.
carnival music, and he's all like, "Oh shit, it's the Fun House." Why did I have to bring that up 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
To be continued.
Wow, that was actually really good.
And so that was Identity Crisis Part 1. So Identity Crisis Part 2. We pick up where Part 1 left off. Bob and Dot are in the Funhouse game.
They are. Ooh,
And they're
it's
like-
scary.
And they're like, oh shit. And Bob reboots. And he reboots into a pretty hilarious looking clown.
I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty great.
And like, he still has his dreads, but now they're orange and slightly longer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The heck?
Also, his clown outfit is just an explosion of contrast, like not
Hard to look
contrasting,
at, man.
conflicting colors.
Yeah.
It's pretty. This is why they fear the Funhouse. So
He's got like white and orange and red, but he's also got like a purple bow tie.
It's painful to behold.
It's yeah.
Green belt and green knee pads.
Yeah. Rainbow suspenders.
Yeah. And he's like, Dot, why aren't you gonna reboot?
And she's all like, why? What's the point?
Crawling in my skin.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna say I found Dot pretty insufferable in this episode, at least in the early moments. And speaking as someone who does deal with depression and whatnot, like this is a very and okay, I get it. It's a kid show, but this is a very like over the top and exaggerated form of sadness.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, yeah, it made me cringe.
Did you wake you up inside? No,
Before I go.
Close enough.
I don't know what you were going with for there.
Dude,
Wake
totally
me up.
different
Wake me
songs.
up inside. I can't wake up. Save me from
Yeah,
the nothing I've become.
Nope.
I never got into either.
And
nope,
yet,
still
you
don't
just-
know.
I understand the reference, but I don't know.
Fill me in because I have no clue.
Evanescence.
Isn't Evanescence in Linkin Park or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Yes,
be
sir.
why.
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
I spend time on the internet looking at memes, Skyrim mods, and this place. ReBoot. My format to watch memes.
Not to sound like a smug and superior elitist douchebag, but by the time those bands like got popular, I was already listening to like underground death metal pretty
Yeah.
much exclusively.
I'm sure everybody listening is impressed. As
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
It's impossible to like cruise the internet without seeing that "Wake Me Up Inside" meme with the skeletons.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, but because I have no point of reference for it, it probably just
It doesn't
hasn't-
stick out.
Yeah, it hasn't registered with me at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Speaking of "Wake Me Up Inside," Dot
It's a
wakes
sad
up,
clown.
and she's a sad clown, and I kind of dig it. I dig her sad clown from her sad clown makeup.
A Harlequin.
How do they run? They like run awkwardly with like those giant clown shoes.
Yeah. It looks very, very clumsy.
Hmm.
They're dodging pies that explode.
Oh yeah, they dodge
like these-
pies.
Weird lights.
Yep. Exploding pies coming at them.
Yeah, they're exploding pies. And it's
We
the
see-
user.
Yeah, they hide behind a pole. They
Oh
the
yeah,
show
like
has used that joke
magic.
again.
Yeah. This
Bugs
makes
Bunny
more
thing.
sense because they're like clowns, right? That are supposed to like defy some levels of physics with like, the clown car thing.
Yeah.
So
It makes sense here, but yeah.
The user is a big fat clown made out of 10 polygons. And he laughs at them.
Sal and Harv at the circus.
Yeah, and off he goes. Heading for
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
level.
Yep. And we cut to the Silicon Tor, and Herr Doctor and his sidekick are still hard away at trying to decrypt the PIDs.
They can do it.
And he's all like, "Everything is going according to schedule, Your Highness." That was terrible. I'm
was
sorry
it? Or was
for
it
that.
great?
It works. It works.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Megabyte says some shit about, yes, our dear friend Dot, as Cyrus is laughing to himself in satisfaction over what a two-timing prick he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's a good minion. And it cuts back to the funhouse, and there's like weird, like 2D, like GIFs of like skeletons wearing like purple tuxedos and purple top hats.
Are they skeletons or ex-humans?
Ex-humans.
They look ex-human to me.
Yeah. You could tell they used to be human.
Yeah.
And they're in front of this disgusting giant like
Mouth.
clown face. Yeah, and they're like, "How do we get in?" And the clown face opens. If you weren't fucking afraid of clowns before, trigger
Yeah.
fucking warning for this episode.
No kidding.
And the clown opens its mouth bearing like incredibly big, sharp, like grotesque looking teeth, and a disgusting tongue comes out and wraps around them, and it eats them.
Yeah.
That's how they get into the
It's
level.
pretty gross. I don't have a fear of clowns at all, but this is
It's still gross. And
yeah. It's
Yeah. It's the way
Do
they
not want.
slide down the esophagus.
slide down. And then they awkwardly
Slide
run
down.
off in the
Yeah.
clown shoes.
slippity slide.
So here's a weird thing I've never seen in the show. It cuts to
Yeah.
Fong looking at Bob and Dot in the game, and he's watching them on a vid window.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know he could
So-
do that.
That's a thing. Huh.
Wonder how often he does this.
He likes
Maybe
to
that's
watch.
what he likes. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and here's our favorite part. As they enter. Oh wait, hold on. This is not the favorite part.
Yeah, Fong's watching them, and he's like, "They are in grave danger. I must do something."
Yeah, they
And I'm
enter
like,
this
"What are you
room with
talking about, dude?"
with a platform on it, and a the room is cylindrical and it's spinning. It looks like something out of it's like a horror clown version of American Gladiators.
Yeah.
But there's
Rerunning-
no obstacle. It doesn't move. It's just disorienting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just walk across it just fine. And
Yeah.
they reach a room full of doors. Circular room full of doors with a bunch of different designed like mirrors on them.
Yeah.
It's not quite a room, a house of mirrors. And yeah, Bob's like, "Okay, we got to finish this game. We got to choose the right door."
Yeah, because the
And then
user is on the last level apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently this is the fastest game ever. And there's a lot of randomness to this because he opens the door and ropes wrap around his arms and legs and grab him and turn him into a marionette.
Yeah.
And then he
I thought this was actually pretty cool.
it's cool, but also like creepy, and it doesn't, like I said, there's a lot of
I think it's cool
Random
because it is
factors.
kind of creepy. Like
yeah.
like the notion of being turned into like a human marionette, like that's some like deliciously creepy like horror fodder right
I've had
there.
dreams about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I've
never
had
have
creepy dreams. I've had a creepy dream where there was like somebody wearing like a pig face as a mask playing a piano, and the piano keys were tied to like strings connected to like a girl, and like the strings were like hooked into her body, and he's like playing a piano and she was like dancing to it. Yeah, I've had yeah,
That's
some Silent Hill shit.
very, very strange.
I can relate.
I've had some weird dreams. But moving on, Dot, who begins to kind of like dance.
I have dreamed shit that'll turn you white.
I've dreamed shit that'll turn you black. No? Okay, moving on.
I've dreamed shit that'll turn you brown.
It'll turn you straight.
Wow.
God.
Turn you green. I'm
And,
already green.
I've dreamed shit that will blow me down.
turn you blue.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the
Dream
one.
shit that'll. I've seen things that you people wouldn't believe. Marionettes.
All right.
dancing. Okay.
Okay. All
So
right.
Bob screams in pain, and I was just trying to get a Blade Runner reference in there. Bob screams in
Fish
pain,
and
and he's
mailed.
like, "Fish and mailed, indeed." And Bob's like, "Oh, Dot, it's all up to you now." So I guess Bob's just out of the game, and like he kind of like tap dances away and into the darkness, and the door slams.
Yep.
And she's all like, "Wow, it's up to me. I blew it before. I guess we're all gonna die."
And then Fong.
Yeah, Fong
appears
is just like
behind her.
fucking there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
she's
know
even
that you could-
surprised.
Intercept a game.
And she's like, "What the heck are you doing here?" And he's like, "I came to show you something." And he like puts this like
Thing.
neural like tap like this device on both sides of her temple. And there's like a flash. And almost like he disappears and like the lighting changes and everything. And she's like, "Fong? Fong? Fong."
And then
Kind
she
of goes
slowly
slow motion.
turns and then just starts staring at her reflection in one of the mirrors. And we hear a distorted voice being like, "Game over, user wins. Game over, user wins.
Yeah.
Game over."
That was creepy. Yeah, user
Doesn't
wins,
say-
ladies and gentlemen.
Doesn't say the user,
It does not.
just says user.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Argument settled. I admit defeat, gentlemen.
It's weird. She says it in a weird way. Like she emphasizes the you, right? So it kind of sounds like user, like you could slide a the in there. But that was a topic for episode 1. This is
Yeah.
episode Funhouse.
This is
And,
episode fun.
Yeah, we get a cut to like mainframe, but it's kind of dark. And Dot's like crawling out of a deleted chunk of mainframe.
Yeah.
Like a cube is missing out of the ground.
Yeah, a sector that is clearly been nullified.
We have not seen this since episode 1.
We have not seen this in minutes.
In whole minutes. Has it truly been that
minutes.
long? She's like, "What the heck? The sector's nullified, but I'm still alive."
Curious.
Yeah, so it's kind of been implied, but not outright stated, that like sprites and binomes that are in a game when it is lost, they become one of those sluggy, like slimy nulls, right?
Yeah.
They've stated before that like sectors
You'll be nullified.
that you'll be nullified. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
the fact that those are called nulls.
Yeah. That's a good
If
point,
the-
though.
It hasn't really said it.
Yeah, I don't think they've like directly addressed the connection there yet.
Well, in that case, that actually makes this episode the first episode where they actually tell us that, as we see a null in a cage later.
Like what
Interesting.
happens when you're nullified? Well,
Yeah.
what is a null? There's a null.
Yeah, they've called them nulls before, but they've never outright said that when you are in a game and you lose, you become a null. And until it's implied in this episode. If we're wrong,
Listeners-
you can let us know.
Listeners, that can be one of the difficult things actually about discussing a show whose episodes you watched as a kid like a million times over and over. You start to lose where specific plot points are, and like where like exactly like, you know, when you're on one episode, like
The
it's like,
knowledge of certain things,
things
when
that
they're
like
introduced.
information that comes into play later on in the show and becomes like such an integral part that it just like in your mind retroactively when you're watching the early episodes again, it's like
You take for granted.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, I was like, "Oh yeah, I know all about nulls and all this." But if you're just watching this for like the first time ever, oh, those things are called nulls. The sector becomes nullified. You probably kind of like piece it together, but it doesn't. I think it doesn't really tell the audience that until this episode. Yeah. And Dot's walking around in what seems to be the reality that were her visions in the last episode.
Yeah.
Like a dystopian, like viral kind of slum with everyone walking around. They're all like kind of that like cobalt blue color, and they all have barcodes on them instead of icons.
Frisket's being led around on a leash.
Yeah, she even calls out to him, and he recognizes his name, but he just looks super, super depressed. And the bignome, like holding his leash, just tugs on him, and they walk away.
Yeah.
Everyone's enslaved.
And Dot's like,
everyone's
what's going
sad.
on around here?
Yeah.
And then that weird like floating eye thing shows up.
Yeah, I don't like
Yes.
that. It just like the way it moves is so eerie. And she runs.
She runs, hides behind a wall. The floating eye flies on past, doesn't notice where she is.
Seems pretty terrible at its one job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
And she gasps, and the camera shifts to her diner, except it's no longer Dot's diner, it is Nibbles' diner.
Yeah.
Which
And it's blue and green.
I'm not gonna hang on this too long, but the fact that Dot's diner has become Nibbles' diner is kind of interesting if you are familiar with later seasons of the show.
Yes.
Oh, I'm actually, I don't recall, so
That's why I'm
We will
trying to
come
be as
back to
vague as
that.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
Yeah, when we
Because
do
you
find
don't
out,
know.
you'll have to remind me that
Yeah.
this was called that. Huh,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting.
But yeah, Sniddler knows
Yes.
what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of the Sniddler, I just finished watching Undergrads with my partner, who had
Nice.
never
Oh
seen
sweet.
it, and we just finished it.
Nice.
Yeah. So if
Nice.
anybody wants to stick around and talk about their feelings, I brought Boggle.
Well, if you ever want a podcast about that show, I'm game.
I love Undergrads, and it would only be 12 episodes, so I'm definitely game.
All right. Look for that. Potentially look for that in the future, listeners.
So yeah, we're at
Nibbles'
Diner.
And
And
Doc's
all
like,
the-
that's
there's
my
Tuca guy.
diner.
Yeah, I just noticed this Tuca guy sleeping in the background.
There's some shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. They're drinking and slumming it up. Everyone's dirty and like.
Well, one of them's
One
eating
guy-
a null.
Yeah, that weirded me out so much.
I was like,
When I watched this
why?
earlier, I'm like, oh god. That's
Oh,
like
yeah, he
almost
is.
cannibalism.
Nom.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she sees that weird like servo bot. EU-26 entry unit 26. Yeah, he's not Cecil. My name is Service Entry Unit 26.
Ugh.
Enter requested diner function. Present hall pass.
The one binom chilling out. So the shot where the fake Cecil like zips over and there's like a one binom on the left and like a zero binom hanging from the ceiling. The one binom, like what he's doing here.
What is he
What
doing?
happened?
He's supposed to be drunk, but he's just like smiling and like bobbing up and down and like raising one of his arms.
Oh
Just up and
yeah.
down.
He's hanging out on the jukebox.
Yeah, I think he's supposed like the implication here is that he's drunk, but
Oh,
he does
yeah.
not. He does not. This dude looks like he's on like meth or something.
Yeah, I think
He's
most
just
of these
having a good
people-
time. Oh
most
yeah,
these
all of them are
binoms are.
drowning their sorrows away. They're slumming it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? This is my diner. It's the best diner in all of Mainframe." And
Everyone's
the
just
servo
laughing at
units,
her.
like, yeah, they all laugh at her, and he's like, "This is not Mainframe. This is Megaframe."
Does
she's
he say
like,
logic
Megaframe.
error?
Yeah, logic error.
Yeah. And then
So yeah, they're in Megaframe.
we
And
hear the
then,
door. We hear the door swing wide.
This is I have no recollection of this. So when I saw this was jarring for me. I was like, what?
A grown-up, not grown-up, but an adolescent Enzo walks
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, like
With,
what?
like, peach
16,
fuzz.
17, 16 maybe? Because he's got like the peach fuzz like stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like tall and just but he has the same face. Like
got
they
an
didn't
earring?
change his face.
Yeah.
They just added stuff to him, so it's eerie.
He's
Like an
wearing
earring and a scar on his face. What?
Yeah. Okay. So the scar I find really interesting.
Uh-huh.
Not to get too much into spoilers, but for anyone who has seen a particular episode of season 3 of ReBoot, I find the scar kind of interesting.
Is it the same eye?
Same
It is
eye.
the same eye. Yeah.
Prophetic dreams indeed.
Mhm.
So yeah, 16-year-old Enzo is like, who the hell are you, dame?
Also, he's wearing a black, like leathery version of Bob's outfit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's got like the shoulder things. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like black and gold, and he still has his icon, but it's like a viral icon. Big ass barcode right across his forehead.
One ear pierced with a big hoop.
Yeah,
Which I
pirate
kind of
earring.
dig, but
Yeah, he's got black nail polish on and fingerless gloves.
and he's like a
cool kids
quintessential.
dressed in the 90s.
Yeah, he's
Sorry,
like a
go on.
quintessential like early 90s like sitcom high school bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like extremed in every way possible. They're like, okay, what about fingerless gloves or a scar or a barcode? And they're like, why not all three?
Yeah.
Give him a fucking pirate earring too.
Yeah, they're in the board meeting pitching ideas, and they're like, it's all these like middle-aged dudes are like, so how can we make Enzo seem like a bad kid in 1994?
And
And
instead of
someone-
picking some ideas, they just did everything. Everybody put on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Scar, check.
That is funny though.
Backwards cap, check. Pirate earring, check. Leather outfit, check. Fingerless gloves, check.
These are all good ideas. All good ideas. Let's do it. Which one?
Which one? Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Yes. Just yes.
I that is actually
I'm
interesting.
surprised he's
Never
not
no-
smoking. Sorry, what did you not notice?
I've actually never noticed that he is dressed like a guardian. Even his icon is like Bob's. Which,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny that you bring that up. I never noticed until you brought it up.
Yeah, there's some weird foreshadowing going on here.
Why
I kind of wonder.
Why is his icon like a guardian's instead of Enzo's?
It's more raised. It's on his hat still, but it's more raised and shiny.
It's also inverted too.
Yeah.
If you notice the on regular sprites and binomes icons, the black is on the top, whereas on guardian icons, the black is on the bottom.
Yeah.
So
The black
all of
part
them
of the
except
circle.
Bob, black part is on the bottom for Bob.
Yeah.
But everyone else's has white on the bottom of the circle.
Yeah.
Huh, I've never noticed that.
Yeah, it's a guardian thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah,
So
there's
even though it's
thing.
green, it's like inverted.
yeah, there's some like crazy foreshadowing going on here.
Wow. Never even clicked.
It would complement his like upper body musculature, but I'll save that for when the real future comes, not the vision of the future.
You know what? I think grown up Enzo in season 3 even has a earring in his left ear too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for some reason, despite the fact that Dot looks exactly the same, right? Presumably this is years later, right? And she's like, "Hey, Enzo, it's me. You got to recognize me. It's your sister Dot." And he's like, "Yeah, right. She got nullified in a game years ago." And I'm like, "Bro, like, how do you forget what your sister looks like?"
Right.
Yeah.
Which is implying this is kind of like her fears playing on her. Like this is a vision It's not actual reality, because I don't care how old like I am. If I'm like 10 and then I'm like 30 later, I'm gonna remember someone in my family that raised me
Yeah.
if they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like her fears, right? Like her brother doesn't remember her.
Even if you think they're dead, if they suddenly show up, you're just going to be like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, I'm not going to dispute their existence. I'm going to be like, what? How?
I have questions.
Yeah. And yeah, Enzo's like, oh, if you're not from around here, how come security's so interested in you, huh?
Why don't you have a barcode? Are you a convict?
Yeah, convict. And that little like spy drone thing, instead of just staring at her, when he gets like spotted by Dot, it like pieces out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why? It's Mega Frame. It can do whatever it wants, but now it's like trying to be sneaky.
Yeah.
And Dot's like, what the heck is going on? Where's Bob? And Enzo laughs. And he's like, and so does everyone else in the bar when Enzo's like, huh, she wants to see Bob. And everybody has a hoot and a holler.
Yeah, Bob lives down in Sector 31 with Old Man Fong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old Man Fong.
Well, I love the scene coming up, actually.
I do too.
Yeah.
And he puts his arm around Dot and points his finger at her and is like, listen, Dame, I'm going to give you one more piece of advice. And then he throws her out of the diner and is like, stay off my turf. Ha ha ha. And everyone's all laughing.
Yeah.
In the background, there is a one binome with two eyes.
Yeah, I saw that.
What?
Yeah.
I need to check this out.
Super weird.
It's weird, yeah.
When he throws her out?
Yeah. Yeah, the shot of him throwing her out and everyone's laughing. On the left, there is a one binome with two eyes.
That
What
looks
the
so
fuck?
weird.
For some reason, my brain like doesn't like that.
I
I'm
know,
so
right?
used to seeing them with one eye that seeing them with two is just like weird and wrong.
That's unnatural.
Unnatural indeed.
I like the texture on some of these binomes. That they look like they've been like scorched and scarred.
Yeah,
and warped.
dirty and yeah.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks like they've literally been burned and disfigured from it.
Yeah, or haven't bathed in a long, long time.
No, it's not. No, it's not even that. It's like they're actual, like, the shape of them. Their character model is like.
Oh, some of them are like melty. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but yeah, some of them are bent and disfigured. Yeah.
Dented up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Looks cool. A giant vid window appears in the sky, and Megabyte's there.
It's Glorious Leader.
Yep. And that's basically all it is.
Greetings.
Is him being like, bask in my glory.
He even like kind of poses.
Yeah, he does.
Like, my power be with you. And he like does like this like corny like rap pose.
Yeah, and everyone's all like starts bowing. All hail to the Prince of Power.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm like, okay.
Weird.
Dot's like, what? Which is my reaction too. It's like, I get that he's evil dictator, but it's almost like they're worshiping him.
Basically.
Yeah. He's got them brainwashed or something. And then Dot is like sneaking around. And like a bunch of viral binomes just go past her, so I'm not sure why she's sneaking, because they just don't seem interested in her. And there are two one binomes, one standing atop the other one.
Yeah.
And they're making graffiti of this like crummy looking Megabyte. It's actually Old Man Pearson and another one binome.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That same graffiti was in the hallway on part 1 of Funhouse.
Yeah.
When they were walking down that hallway to give the speech.
Yeah.
The same graffiti mark, which means, which is more proof that this is like in her head, right? Because when you dream, apparently you only ever dream things that you've ever like thought of or read about or experienced or seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
whenever
makes
you
sense.
meet somebody that you don't know in a dream and they're just their own person, they're a composite of like different people's features.
Huh.
Yeah, you never
Projection,
like
if you will.
you can't make anything new in a dream. The scenarios can be crazy or wacky, but like they're all things you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. This is a dreamscape.
Yep.
And they round up Old Man Pearson and the other one for graffiti, and
Take
she
it
goes
away.
after Old Man Fong,
Yep.
and he's crazy.
Goes into an alley. There's a box there with a picture of Frisket on
Yeah,
it.
that confused me. It says
It's like a
data
dog
bone.
food box.
And I actually really like Fong is just rambling to himself like a crazy old man, and I actually I actually found it pretty amusing.
It kind of suits him.
Yeah,
He already
Kinda
does
suits him
that.
in a way.
but he's like, and one for you. Oh, what do you mean? Hyperdrives? Oh, I will show you, and then that's it. No.
And for some reason, while
So
he's like
good.
rambling to himself, a penguin comes out from behind
Yeah.
his box.
Not just any penguin. So I was confused about this earlier. I'm like it made me laugh, and I'm just like, lol, what? And I'm like, oh, maybe it's supposed to be the Linux penguin, maybe. But then I sent the clip to my partner and said the same thing, and she was like, oh no, that's the penguin from Wallace and Gromit. And I'm like, really? Is Wallace and like has Wallace and Gromit really been around that long? And she's like, oh yeah, it
It's
predates
ancient.
ReBoot.
Yeah.
And she showed me a picture, and yes, this is indeed the character Feathers McGraw from Wallace and Gromit feature The Wrong Trousers.
Yeah. Wacky. In hindsight, it seems very obvious. But it's just one of those things where you know how like something seems familiar, but you just can't
Yeah.
place it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. We're so used to there being computer references and like games and that kind of thing, just jargon for computers, that we sometimes you get in the mind frame of not realizing that they could be referencing things that aren't video games or computers.
Yeah. So, and when I thought about it, I was like, oh, okay, this actually makes a degree of sense. Like, one, the creators of ReBoot are all a bunch of British guys, and Wallace and Gromit was a British cartoon or British
Claymation.
claymation, stop motion animation film.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it more, and I'm like, oh yeah, in the early days of CGI, and I think they only really stopped doing this within the past like decade or so. But in the early days of CGI, they would actually design characters using clay instead of rendering them, like designing them on a computer, because it was faster and cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah.
So you would design a character with clay and like figure out exactly how you wanted the character to look and then render them.
Instead of building it from the ground up on a computer.
Yeah, because at the time it was faster and more cost effective to do it with clay models.
Wacky and cool.
So, yeah. So the reference checks out.
There you go. He's a penguin. And he's not holding us a briefcase, but he's wandering off. Weird that they'd put him in the dystopian nightmare episode.
Yeah, that is kind of strange.
Fong comes out of his box. And she's like, Fong, it's me. Dot's like, Fong, it's me, Dot. And he's wacky and weird and pale. He's like ash gray, and he has green eyes and a barcode on his forehead. Poor old man Fong. And he's like, "Oh, Dad, yes. I have a present for you. It's here somewhere." And he opens up like the little cupboard in his abdomen.
Yeah, and she's
Tossing
all like,
things
Fong, where's Bob? And he's all like, oh, yes, Bob, he is here too. I will find him. And he's like, Bob, where are you, my little friend? And as I was watching this earlier, I'm like, Bob's totally a null.
Yeah.
He would have been nullified in that game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, dun, he pulls out like a bamboo like cage,
Bird cage.
and there is a chromatic like blue null inside.
Blue and silver, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Here's Bob. People don't believe me when I say he used to be a great guardian." One thing I just noticed is the null could easily escape that cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's smaller than the openings in the cage. What you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe he likes living with Fong.
Yeah. What else you gonna do as a null?
Yeah. Not play Pong, let me tell you.
Definitely not.
No.
Yeah, and Fong is like, he was really something back in the day. But those times are gone. Cute little fellow, no?
And Dot's like, this is all my fault. If I hadn't felt sorry for myself, I could have won the game and saved the day, and none of this would have happened. If only I had another chance. And
Fong gets wise.
Yeah, he snaps out of it, his madness, and is all like, chance has nothing to do with it, child. The future is not determined by a throw of the dice. It is determined by the conscious decisions of you and me.
Which is a quote that I love.
Go on.
Because, I don't know, it just inspired me as a kid and today.
Oh, he's not quoting anything? You mean...
Oh, no, I meant like I love that line.
It inspired you to this day?
Yeah, inspired me as a kid.
True.
It inspires me now.
True,
It's
man.
very, very true.
All right.
No.
And Dot's all like, what did you say? And then Fong goes back to being a madman and is all like, would you like to see my windshield collection?
I have many kinds.
I like the way he said that. Yeah. I have many kinds.
And then he screams and runs away back into his box.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Closes the door behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The door.
Slam. Very cartoony.
There she is. Call Lieutenant Cyrus. So they finally caught up to her.
Yep,
Dot finally caught up to the audience here.
Yeah.
With the fact that Cyrus is the douchebag.
Yes.
So she's all like,
because-
Cyrus.
Yeah. And then she tries to hide down an alley, but she runs into a dead end.
Yeah.
And as they kind of like have her surrounded, from the shadows, vid window pops up, and it's Cyrus, and he's like that cobalt blue, and he's dressed like a general. He has like a general hat on top of his big froey pompadour, and he has like a little stick, one of those like little
riding
tactical riding.
Yeah, he's got a riding crop. Yeah, he very much looks like a Nazi general here.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no accident.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't be afraid, Dot. And as he like strokes his riding crop, we're here to help you. And true to the horror that I felt seeing that stupid drone thing, it descends from the sky.
Yeah.
And like slams this is like very face hugger reminiscent.
Yeah.
Like it grabs her by the neck and slams like a device over her head.
Yeah, like a helmet type thing.
Yeah, something's happening to her, and all
And
the
she's
binos
groaning.
are.
You hear like a little motor start running.
So just
Yeah,
Really, It scared the crap out of me.
Just after the thing puts the helmet on her head, look at the face of the Binome immediately afterward.
Is he digging it?
Yeah, he looks like weirdly, I don't know, weirdly satisfied.
They have so little to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like he's getting off to this. That's all I'm saying.
Most likely.
They have so little to live for.
Lieutenant Soul Patch.
All of them.
Yep.
Lieutenant Soul Patch.
And
they descend into the darkness.
Into the darkness, yeah.
Yeah. And we're just left with Dot alone, and she's bald, and she has a barcode on her forehead.
And then she wakes up. And she's all like, I'm back in the game.
After a weird moment where she like turns, and there just happens to be a mirror in the alleyway, and she screams, "No!"
Yeah.
So yeah,
strange.
But Fong is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's all like, oh shit, I have to do something. So she runs out in a comical fashion, like stomping her feet because she's wearing big ass clown shoes.
So he is there. He's not just like spiritually projecting himself there.
I have no idea. This episode doesn't really make it clear.
Explains that.
There's graffiti. Sorry, I'm reading this right now, and I'm actually little Easter egg, if you will. When Dot sees herself in the mirror, it says on the wall, "Final shot of season 1." Yeah,
nice. I saw the graffiti, but I didn't stop and read it.
Yeah, no, I just it says it in cursive. It's yeah, I just noticed it.
Nice.
Easter eggs.
Easter egg.
Easter egg.
And she, despite the fact that earlier Bob was like, "Oh, the user's on." They've, by the way, if you don't include the vision quest, they've only been in the game 30 seconds. But earlier, before the room of mirrors, Bob was like, "Oh, the user's already on the last level," and I'm like, "This is a shitty game."
Yeah.
This is why everyone's afraid of Funhouse. It's because there's too many elements of randomness, and because it's very short.
Absolutely.
The user starts with exploding pies.
It is easier to lose than it is to win this.
Yes.
Ridiculously terrifying.
Like most games. That's not true.
Well, the first one we saw.
Yeah, she sees, despite the user on the last level, she sees him. He's like 20 feet away on a tricycle.
Yeah.
Going down like a weird spiral bowling lane.
The user's taking his sweet time on this.
He is, well, he's very large.
Yes.
And Dot has a tricycle too, but the front tire is flat.
Yeah.
It's low on air. And so
she's trying
begrudgingly tries to catch up.
Yeah, trying to give chase. The user flicks the switch, and a giant-ass bowling ball comes down. And
after he gets the user, this is weird. The user flies into some bowling pins and crashes.
Yeah.
So whoever's in first has to drive through the bowling pins.
Yeah. I guess it was supposed to leave more of an obstacle.
Yeah, and despite him falling through all 10 of the pins, only 4 descend and land again.
Yeah, very strange.
This
is a very odd game.
It does not seem fun. It just seems like those early games that is just part of a pack. It's like, wow, 10 games in one on a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Of course, it wouldn't look like this. It would just be like crummier than Atari kind of graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she makes it through the
She escapes the bowling alley of curves of stupidness.
The bowling lane of corkscrew.
Yes.
Yeah. So did it imply that the switch the user clown pulled dropped the bowling ball?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But that would be a danger to him too. Whatever.
Yep.
This game is stupid. And the final level, which is like 10 feet away from the bowling lane, is like a squirt, one of those like carnival squirt gun games
Yeah.
where you have to shoot like a target with water,
Mm-hmm.
and the user's already there, like filling his up, and he like blows her a raspberry and acts like a clown. What are these disgusting creatures they're shooting into the mouth of?
I don't know.
They don't fit the style of the show, so I assumed they were some creature from something else. Now, I don't understand Dot's logic here for how she wins.
Purple frogs
Purple frogs, yeah.
or aliens. Yeah, go on.
So Dot is like, I'll show you, and she picks up her squirt gun thing, right?
I like
And
how
she
these
holds-
look like super soakers.
Yeah.
Straight up.
They do, yeah. Despite the fact they have an ammo clip. Guess that's the
Yeah.
handle. And she like kind of when you pinch off a hose, and it starts filling up, kind of like a water
Right,
bottle.
That sounded funny. Go on.
And she's pinching off her hose, and it's so funny,
we're
guys.
mature. Yeah. Okay, go on.
And
Pinch off hose.
for some reason, this is how she wins. Like the user looks worried as it begins to fill like bigger and bigger, and she's not shooting it or aiming it at all. And the user's about to win, like hit the little bell that they're trying to fill the water up to.
Mm.
And he starts to laugh as he thinks he's going to win, and then Dot releases it all in like one huge like giant like shot,
Yeah.
and it fills it up so fast that hers like completely goes through the bell at the top, and she beats him. And the user dies in front of her eyes. We've never seen that before.
His eyes shut off.
Yeah, and his body slumps over, and she wins.
Yep.
That doesn't make any fucking sense to me, how she won, but sure, in kid logic, that makes sense, right?
In Funhouse logic, can make.
It's the fun house! And I'm like,
Game
what are the rules
over.
here? Yeah, game over. But the user did not win.
Nope.
She did it by herself.
Yep.
So the GameCube zips away into the sky, and Dot's all like, Fong, because Fong is here now. So I guess he was there.
Oh! Yeah, he's just standing there right beside her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's all like, what did you do to me? Was that a dream? And Fong is like, it was, shall we say, a reflection of yourself. What did you see? And she's like, I saw someone who let everyone down because she gave up. She didn't even try.
Only it was me! Which is
The
a weird
only
line.
she in the.
You
She's
learn
Sprite,
well,
rather.
child. And
I could
Bob
have
showed.
helped you, but I didn't want to. How did he enter the game? Whatever. And
Don't
Bob's
ask
there.
questions.
Bob's there, and he's like, "Whoa, nice going, Dot."
I'm surprised Fong didn't make her play a game of fucking Pong to work through her shit.
Yeah, Dot has not played. Dot. Well, sorry. Shall we say Dot has not pumped him at his game?
Yeah.
Oh, she's never played
Yeah.
Pong with him.
Yeah.
She doesn't have time for that shit. She probably walks in and go, "No, Fong, listen," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Okay. All right, Jesus. You know?
Yeah, Bob is there, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you beat the Funhouse. I knew you wouldn't let me down." And then he's like, "Fong, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Good question, Bob."
One
That is
that
a
will
very
not
good
be
question.
answered.
Fong can enter games after they've dropped. I guess.
Yep. And Dot has another vision quest, and she looks over and sees the water park going up.
Yeah.
And it's like, once again, Fong is like, what you are experiencing is a temporary distortion of reality.
Yeah.
And
so
Dot's
now
like,
she's having a vision quest again, but it's a water park being
It's-
formatted.
it's something good this time. So, yeah, Fong brings up one of these little disc things that he put on her temples earlier, and he's like, this is an RDE, a reality distortion engine. Its disrupting waves move backward into the past and forward into the future, like ripples in a pond. This makes no sense.
Oh, it makes no sense at all.
And he looks
Thank
up in
you,
the sky
Fong.
as he's talking all mystically, and I'm like, okay, how did
It's-
that affect her when you didn't put it on her face the first few times?
Exactly.
How
He put it
Yeah.
on. He put it on her when she was in the game, but she was having these weird vision quests like
The whole time.
the whole time.
Once in the diner last episode, once when they were driving the hover tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because it sends ripples backwards in time, because he put it on her in the funhouse, it sent those ripples back and affected her in the past.
Okay, sure.
As long as you say like ripples in a pond, then that's it. That's all anybody needs to know, because it sounds mystical. And if you explain
bullshit.
something like
It's
ripples in a
bullshit.
pond, everyone's just gonna go, wow.
Like
No.
sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
Dust.
Dust. Wind.
Wind.
Dude.
Dude.
I'm glad you went there because I was just about to.
I think all of us did. So I feel like all three of us are well acquainted with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I will follow that up with every rose has its thorns.
Oh yeah.
And then Fong,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
this shit breaks the episode for me, honestly.
Yeah.
and it makes the last episode, which was okay, not as whatever. Anyways, Fong's like, I felt that such action was necessary given the circumstance, and I'm like, but you started affecting her with this before she was even depressed. How does what? Okay. I
Yeah.
like to mind fuck people when they get sad. What?
It's an interesting.
It's much quicker
So-
and saves time compared to motivational speech.
Then Bob is just there, and he's going, "Okay, yeah, what's going on? What happened here? What am I
All
missing?"
right, you two, what's going on? And he's like oddly defensive.
And then Fong just kind of goes, "Huh?" Doesn't say
They just
anything.
stare
Just
at
kind of
him.
rears back, and
They just stare at him and say nothing, and he's like,
yeah,
on second thought, never mind.
just like I'm not even gonna get into that.
I wish I, as the viewer, could do that.
Yeah.
You know what? On
We all
second
need
thought,
to be a little
never
Aiden.
mind. I don't want to know.
Sorry, what?
What
What did I miss?
You seemed okay with all the shenanigans of the show, much more so than Christopher and I. Like you said, it's just ripples in a pond, and that's
It's
all you
just-
need to know.
That's all you need to know. It's like cripples in a pub.
So Fong's like, hey, it looks like you still got some time. Maybe you can stop Megabyte. And he's like, wait a second. The border's still under guard. He must not have encrypted the files. So, yeah.
I'm wondering what Fong is looking at when because it looks like he looks at his wrist as if to look at a watch, but there's nothing there.
Well, you can't see anything there, but Fong works in mystical ways. He's looking at his Buddhism watch.
Like ripples in a pond. I get
Like
it.
ripples
All
in a
right, I
pond.
get it.
Yeah. So because the
I'm gonna
bino
use that from now on.
So Dot has some big brain a moment here, and she's like, "Well, none of the binomes have been converted, so they don't have the access codes yet." And
Yeah.
Dot's like, "How basic of me! I spent so much time feeling sorry for myself that I forgot the files were encrypted in my organizer."
Yeah.
So off they go. They go to fuck his shit up and try to stop him.
Yep. Maybe maybe I can't. Yeah, I can't talk apparently. Maybe Mega Breath hasn't broken the encryption yet. Let's go.
Off
do
they
a
go,
really-
and he's on the
They do
last
a very
number.
weird walk. They do an odd
I
walk.
love their silly walks. I need to go rewind a bit and see this.
It is a
Is
weird
it as
walk,
good as?
yeah.
They kind of like
It's
do
a
like
little
a
weird.
weird march.
It ain't no Enzo pimp walk, but it's
Well,
interesting.
it's also too. It's like he hasn't broken the encryption yet. Let's
Time
go.
to slowly march away.
And then they just like casually stroll over to the hover tank. And it's like time is a factor
Please,
here,
my
guys.
child, take your time.
Oh man.
And yeah, Megabyte is on the last number.
Yep. Start
Hack
bring-
Indoor Slash is there, and he's like, "All right, start rounding everyone up."
Yep. Bring him in.
And they do. They have everybody in like chain link fence like roundup.
Kind of really weedy little internment camp. Like, with
Yeah.
horrible security.
Well, what do
Yeah.
you expect?
And
It
no
looks like something on
washrooms.
the US Mexico border.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oof. And they're rounding everybody into hover tanks. And when they round one of them into a bunch of them into a hover tank, it just takes off.
And it's
And
being
it's
driven
actually-
by Bob and Dot.
That's right.
And a door opens up and she gives them the thumbs up and they're all like, woo! And she's all like, I'm really sorry about letting you guys down. And they're all like, Dot, we didn't think you sold us out to Megabyte. We believe in you. We appreciate what you tried to do for us. And Bob's
For
like,
real.
see? You were being way too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you crazy overachieving.
Yeah, so they always believed in her, and also they know Megabyte is like a virus, and that he's gonna lie, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that Dodd's a good person, so she was beating herself up for nothing.
As someone who has a mental disorder that often results in me like beating myself up way too much for a lot of things, I kind of
Yeah.
appreciate this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
As I was at the beginning of this episode talking about how insufferable Dot's exaggerated depression was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can see the Afro binome in there. He has a mustache, and Ur guy does not. So it's the different fellow.
Oh. I thought
He's
the Ur guy had a
mustachioed.
mustache.
Maybe
I
he
don't
is the
think
mirror universe Ur guy.
Oh, that makes
Bizarro Ur.
with that.
I mean, he does have a mustache, so
I thought you needed specifically a goatee when you're Bizarro, when you're mirror-verse version of yourself.
Oh, maybe.
I was trying to do a bit. Okay.
Oh, okay. But anyways, yeah,
It didn't work.
they cheer and they drive off and they go to stop Megabyte, and I'm like, why did they stop at the internment camp? Oh, it was to steal the hover tank. No, they were already in it. What? Why did they make that small hiatus there to pick up those guys?
To rescue folks?
But they only
So-
saved like 8 of them, and there
So
were hundreds.
people could reassure Dot.
I feel like time was of the essence, and that was not necessary. Yeah, what? What? Yeah, wait, that's another dumb plot moment. Anyways, yeah, so Megabyte cracks the last few numbers, and he's got everyone's PIDs.
Except Dot has her iPad back, and she has a bunch of like comically large cables running from it into a hover tank.
Yeah, so all of the
And somehow that allows her to get the PIDs back.
all of the binomes are kind of like helping Dot. The one with like the bonnet and like the big dress from the kits
Yeah.
district
Yeah.
is there holding
The
some
nanny.
binomes like at bay with like a energy staff. And there's some weird like hard wiring hacking going on here. Like they literally like you said, it's not plugged into the hover tank, it's directly
isn't
into
it?
her tablet.
Well, yeah, it's like going from her iPad to one of the hover tanks.
No, it's connected to part of the building? It's not quite a hover tank?
No.
What the heck? Yeah, it's huh. Anyways, yeah, she like hardwired a bunch of internet stuff into her tablet and intersected the codes somehow. And she says, we accessed Megabyte system, then I used my organizer password and downloaded the file before they broke the code. And a Bynum I've never seen before with like a huge twirly mustache. It's actually the same facial hair as Gavin Capacitor, but
Yeah.
just colored white.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the PIDs? She's like, safe and sound. So they did it.
I
Hooray!
did it.
They counter-hacked Megabyte. And he's reading like a message on like the number window, and he's like, turn around, as if he's like reading binary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And there's a vid window.
Yeah. And Dot's there, and she's like, attention, Silicon Tor. Your reign of dominance is over. I would like to personally take this opportunity to thank my dear friend, Cyrus. Also, I don't know.
Me.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Dot in this scene looks really cute.
She does.
Yeah, I don't I
with
don't get what it is at all, but it's like specifically this scene with her on the vid window. Like her face looks really cute.
It's because you like women condescendingly talking down to you. No?
That wasn't a no.
No? I mean, you've known some of my exes, so
That's fair. That's fair.
thinking of one in particular, and not talking about my ex-wife.
And she like blows a kiss and like giggles. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
And Cyrus is behind the window when it closes, and he's shivering, and he looks scared and guilty. But I'm like, dude, you didn't help her. You had nothing to do with this failing. Like, literally, he did everything right.
Yeah, but now Megabyte, I don't know, I guess Megabyte bought the ruse, because he's all like, hack / take him to the PID chamber. I need
The
a
PID
new
extraction chamber.
extraction chamber, right. I need a new shoeshine droid. And I'm like, do you really? Because you're always just sitting in your fucking hover chair, bud.
Yeah, his legs aren't even there.
He doesn't even wear shoes.
Wait, he doesn't even wear shoes.
Gosh darn it.
Also, he seems 1,000 times more useful than Hack and Slash. So why would he like decommission him when clearly it was just whatever? That's real dumb, Megabyte.
No muscle.
Yep.
Because clearly Cyrus like had quite the scheme going on. So it's like, okay, the only non-incompetent one. Sorry, I just did double negative. The only competent one. Here, yeah. Let's turn him into a shoeshine droid.
Yep.
And I'm like, really, man? Okay. And then we cut to presumably the district where they freed everybody, and for some reason we get like a mirror shot and like a shot of like Dot and Bob from behind, and you really see the difference of the curvature of Bob and Dot's butt. You guys seeing that too?
Yeah.
And
Not until
I
you
don't know,
mentioned
I
it.
feel like they're showing off. They're like, hey, if you don't like this back angle of Dot's butt, here's a mirror showing the side angle of Dot's butt. And then Bob doesn't have a butt. He's just got legs that turn into his torso.
Men don't have asses, damn it.
Yeah, that's to suggest such a thing is gay.
I beg to differ, sir. I don't like to toot one's own horn, but
But you got junk in the trunk.
I've got a pumpkin. Nah, mean.
But October was last month.
Well, I have. Oh, that doesn't really work. A
Anyways,
sugar plum. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did it. And he's for some reason Bob's like, okay, Fong, everybody's ready over his glitch. And Fong's like, okay, he's in the principal building. He's like, okay, making the PIDs online now. Again, Christopher asked this last time. How does this have anything to do with making the water park? Because the water park is just formatted right before our eyes, and fireworks go off, and everyone cheers.
And it doesn't even like free the sector. All it does is just like
make a water park.
Make a water park in this one little square.
Lipstick on a pig, rather. Yeah.
Like,
I guess they can't be converted now. Is the benefit of what just happened? But I still don't know how that's Is it kind of like in SimCity when you earn enough kind of like bonus goals or prestige, you just get like a free building? Or something.
sure.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So Bob is all like, so Dot, do you like what you see? And she smiles and looks at her own reflection and is all like, yes, most definitely yes. So Dot's ego is back.
do
normal.
All right.
She was sad. She was sad for like 25 minutes, but now her she's got her cockiness back.
But she's here again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the season finale.
Yep.
Yes. The Megabyte-sized two-parter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
On the alphanumeric rating scale, where we rate episodes on a scale of this is bad, very bad, where basically are episodes that suck to I don't think so, to episodes that aren't that great, to that was easy enough, which are episodes that are, pretty good, to alphanumeric, which are the best episodes, the creme de la creme of this cartoon. Gentlemen, what do you rate part 1 of this episode?
That's interesting. I like the second part better than the first part. The first part, I think, was easy enough. The second part, I think, was alphanumeric because, I don't know, there's just holes in the game, yes, but I also think I just liked the episode. It was exciting. A lot of excitement in the episode. There was a lot of stuff that I funny as a kid, and I still think is funny as now. Still think is funny now, rather.
It's
and
deep.
I just, not really breaking it down. I just really like the episode, the second one.
So your rating is what?
Alphanumeric for the second.
I don't think so. That was easy enough. Or alphanumeric.
Alphanumeric for the second episode. And the first part, that was easy enough for me.
What about you, Cal? What would you rate the first episode?
The first episode is that was easy enough. And the second episode was I don't think so. Like they're both bad, man. they're okay at most. So kind of opposite of Sniddler.
I'm gonna give Identity Crisis Part 1. I'm gonna say I don't think so. It's a high I don't think so, because I did, for the most part, enjoy the episode, but there were too many... I didn't like... Okay, so
You know
I
what?
found-
I changed mine to I don't think so.
I
For both episodes.
I found it laughably obvious that Cyrus was the traitor, and I can't believe no one in the episode clued into that.
I like how it's like, ooh, there's a new ally with them. Sure, he looks like a villain, but they can trust him, right? And we've literally never seen him before.
Yeah. The weird sudden teleportation of Dot from the sewer to stealing a hover tank is just way too big of a continuity error and too glaring.
There's
For
a
me
whole
to
scene
ignore.
missing for that to make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but beyond those two things, I did enjoy the episode. For Identity Crisis Part 2, I'm also giving it a high I don't think so.
So both of them get a high, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm changing mine to match yours. Yeah.
I
Stick
like...
with mine.
I think what saves it for me is, like, ultimately the message of these episodes is that basically, like, if you've screwed up, you need to try and fix the problem. Essentially, I feel like is the message of these episodes, and that's something that I agree with on a personal level.
The
So I think-
message and the is deeper. You're right.
Yeah. So that, I think, is ultimately what saves these episodes for me. But
yeah.
beyond that, they're not great.
Yeah.
So-
The message is
Fair.
deeper and more adult than any other episode. So I'm like a little torn,
Mhm.
but it's breaks so many things, like Fong just being in the game.
Yeah.
Fong being like, ooh, I have this device that distorts like the past and the future.
Yeah.
Can't explain why you've been having visions before I put it on your head, but hey,
Uh.
it's the teleportation and it's I agree with the messages, like that kind of like the short term, like don't kick yourself when you're already down.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that like believe in you. Like all of that is the best messages the show has actually shown us. The right? Like all the other messages, they've just been campy, episodic kind of things.
Yeah.
So I really like that. That's better than everything else. It's just a shame that the episodes are so bad. And the Funhouse isn't, I mean, parts of it are scary, but not for the reasons that Bob was saying.
And the whole Funhouse thing was kind of disappointing too, because like Bob sets it up
Super.
as it's like this like big like thing that everyone's afraid of, and like we barely even spend any time in the game. So yeah, and then
Good
Fong
point.
Fong
It's
with his
called
whole
Funhouse.
Fong with it.
Yeah.
Fong with his whole like temple distortion thingies that he puts on her in the game, but like she was getting visions before that. I don't know. It breaks it for me. And then they like the water park being created.
They knew it was going to happen, but they still didn't explain it. You guys said it was going to explain it. You tricked me.
I thought it was going to explain it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say it was going to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Sniddler was like, oh, well, like in part 2, that may be answered. And I was like, oh, okay. And we just watched it, and I'm like, hold up. Am I missing something?
No, I thought the same thing.
Do I
Well,
have a different copy?
you have a different cut of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we did it. We
did.
finished the first season of ReBoot.
Shit.
So that
We
has been Identity Crisis Part 1 and 2. Best way to support the show, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, be sure to give us a 5-star rating. Helps us out with discoverability. If you like this show, tell your friends. If you don't, tell your enemies.
Creep our website. Creep
Yep.
it.
check out our website, www.alphanumericpodcast.ca. You can find embedded players of every episode of this show thus far, as well as social media links and a bunch of other randomness. We will be back next week with a special bonus season 1 recap episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be a kind of pretty casual affair. We're not going to be talking about one episode in particular. We're just
just jumping around or
we're just
about
gonna
our faves and our least faves.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of just shoot the shit about season 1 of Reboot. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that.
So much happened in season 1.
So much happened, and yet so little.
Not much.
Especially compared to the rest of the series.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Until then, I have been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I'm your other host, NeoCal.
I am AP Sniddler.
And until next season,
stay frosty.
This is a temporary distortion of reality.
I don't think so.
Bake my day. No one's doing that anymore?
789.
Shiver me templates.
Smash the solid state.